One action. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you're at. We're in for a wonderful time. The show is called Journey Through Time Zoom Musical. It was just the most clever thing I can think of because I used it once last year, and it was a clever way of saying, "Let me play some of the good old classics," right? But we're going to have a little fun, and I'll kind of give you a little guided tour along the way. I might even tell you some of the things I'm using from time to time. I'm actually having the reason I wanted to do this was instruments like I'm playing on today are very rare, as my students know, because you come here a lot. It's not very often we get a Liberty in the store, right? Phyllis is like, "Yeah, I got a Liberty in the store." She has a Liberty. Well, don't get used to it because it probably won't be here very long. But enjoy it while you can, and that's why we wanted to make sure you had a chance to hear me and me get to play on it because then I get to play stuff I normally don't. But anyway, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to open up with a fun number here, and and then we'll just the rest will happen the way it happens. So here we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Can you hear all those people applauding? Boy, you know, it's amazing what 5 people can do to make it sound like 100 people. Oh, I winked at the wrong group. Anyway, so I am playing the luxurious Lowrey Liberty. It's luxurious, right, Phyllis? Phyllis is just so happy, I could tell. Even though she's wearing a mask, I could see the smile. But anyway, we're gonna have a little fun here because now you have the best seat in the house right now because I'm gonna keep these lids open for a while because if I don't, the sound will still sound good, but there's something magical that when you do this. Actually, can I get you to volunteer for a second? Yeah. Okay. Since we're recording this, I'm going to see that I get my students involved. And they didn't believe me that there were people here. So, see? See? It's just her applauding sound like 100 people, by the way. I don't know how she does it. So as I'm playing, you're going to hear this sound all the time. But normally, if the thing is not open or closed, you get, a pretty sound. It's pretty nice, right? Now, as I'm playing, go ahead and open up the lid. You hear the difference? And ooh. And let's give her a big round of applause, Sharon, for doing that. I know where's that applause button. Okay, stop. That's enough of that. Anyway, so maybe it's hard to tell there, but another neat thing about the Lowrey Liberty is not only the speaker system, but I think Sean has a couple slides. I didn't bring it in here today. I left it up somewhere else, but there's the front dashboard. But you'll notice, because of the way the design of the music rack on top, you'll notice that what they call the music desk is all built in, so that slides in and out. Now we have what's called the grand monitor speakers, which is basically like a grand piano if you think about it. You know, you get two different effects when you're playing. And I think there's a picture of a bench somewhere too. Now the typical bench that comes with the Lowrey Liberty is, are you pulling it up? I can't tell. Oh, that's Sean Maloney. He's amazing. Look at that. So you got an
It's always hard when the slides are like on complete different
It's always hard when I'm putting you on the spot, like, pull this up now.
Yeah, it's like, well, I gotta scroll.
I break away from my script all the time. That's what's so great about Sean. He's very quick on the go here. So, and yeah, so I don't have that bench with me today, but that is the common bench. So some of the Liberties that we have do have that. Now, I'm wearing to some more music. So I believe that this instrument, well, it is one of the most impressive A-series models that was ever introduced, and actually officially is the top of the line model that we have at stock, believe it or not. And I'm going to do something fun here, because I'm going to play I'm going to play a song here and showcase two of my favorite things on this model. There is a style that's on this called Believe Ballad. Okay? Now, most people would play the song I Believe, which is perfect for that. But what I love about these signature styles is that some of these you can play literally hundreds of other songs. So since it's Valentine's Day around the corner, I thought I'd do a love song for you. Okay? And to start it off, I'm going to use a category preset. So I'm going to start off playing manually, and then I'm going to bring in the style Believe Ballad. Okay? Now, the category preset I'm going to use, which is very fitting for today, is called Love Songs. All right? Now, show of hands, before you put that up on the screen, I don't know if you're putting it up or not, but if you do, anybody know the name Jim Vogelman? Some of you may have seen him one time, and if you saw the face, you probably would know. Jim Vogelman, for years, and still to this day, is still considered one of the best arrangers in his styling, the way he played. And everything he played manually. So if he wanted to change the key, he didn't use the transpose button like I do. He just actually does it. I mean, he's got a resume that's a mile long. He's made arrangements for Disney. He's created presets for Lowrey. And this group of presets, called Love Songs, was actually one of many groups. Oh, look at that. That's Sean Maloney. Look at that. There it is. So here's a group of presets called Love Songs, originally done on the Liberty. And the sounds that you're going to hear in here are very unique, because these are the sounds that are exclusive to the Liberty only. Okay? And then I'm going to go into using these sounds with the style Believe Ballad. Okay? So we'll start off with just a plain old using the Love Songs category, and start off with some really gorgeous love vocals and et cetera, et cetera. Now, maybe I might say it as I go. I may forget and get immersed into the song, but you'll just hear how beautiful these sounds are. Kenny G's going to pop in. You know who Kenny G is? He plays the saxophone. He might stop in here. You might hear someone with a flute come in. And they're actually here. That's how real this is. Here we go. Does that sound real or what? I forgot what I was. Oh, the song. I got so caught up in how real it sounded. Oops. Thank you. I have to stand up as much as possible because they get to see the keyboards the whole time. So I figured I'd at least do it for the group that showed up today. Isn't that beautiful, though? Some of those gorgeous sounds. I had goosebumps on my goosebumps. And that's not from being cold either because I'm wearing my corduroy jacket today. Anyway, now let's take you back in time, further back, before your time. I think so. Your parents may have told you about some famous musicians one upon a time. Musicians like Glenn Miller. I know your mom and dad told you all about Glenn Miller. There was also a famous musician. It's interesting because horn players, reed players, it's easy for them to get a lot of recognition. You don't hear about many famous bass players, for example. There's tons of great bass musicians over the last 100 years, or drummers. Okay? So if you wanted to be a drummer, for example, that stood out, you had to really stand out somehow. And there's a couple drummers, one in particular that really stands out with this next style. You may hear him in his styling. Every time I play this rhythm, regardless of what song I play, a lot of people hear Gene Krupa. He had a unique style when he played. So when you hear this, the style I'm using is actually a style called Swing of India. All right? I think it's even a song called that. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play a little medley of tunes here to use, but you're going to hear Gene Krupa. I'm going to start off with maybe a sing, sing, sing kind of a song, right? I might even do a little Disney classic in there. There's from the Jungle Book. Remember the Jungle Book and Baloo, and there was the orangutans, and there Louis Prima was the singer, and he's saying, I want to be like you, catch fire. I want to be like, he wanted to figure out how to make man's fire so he could fight against It was really an upbeat movie, but if you really catch on to what this orangutan was trying to accomplish, he was an evil dude. But you were caught up in his song, and that was the effect of music. You get hypnotized and want to. So I'm going to play a little bit of that, and then I'll figure out something else to play along with it. It's just a great style to use for a lot of songs of that nature. So Song of India was the name of the song I was thinking of. But Swing of India, when you hear the introduction, it's kind of interesting because if you do introduction 1, it is the only introduction on a Lowrey organ that is actually, and I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'll let you hear the first few measures. It's 20 measures long. Now, people would ask, why would I want an introduction like that? Because if you have a hard time playing the song, you could really fool some people. Just put up the phone next to the organ and say, listen to me. It's going to play for 20 minutes before you actually have to play. It almost is a song in itself. But if you do the intro too, it's really clever. It's a little shorter, and it works great with all the songs that I mentioned. Here we go. There's Gene Krupa. Isn't that fun? What I love is the diversity of all these styles. Now, one of my favorite all-time slow standards, and I don't play it that often because the style that most people use for this song is the one that kind of gives you the idea to play the song with it. A lot of you have a style called San Franz, okay? And if you listen to San Franz, it's like it screams, play I Left My Heart in San Francisco. But that rhythm style came out back, believe it or not, in the 90s. And it's great. So I've been hearing that style forever. And every now and then I would try another slow swing type of a style until I came across this style that you're going to hear. It's really designed for the song It's Impossible. Now, are you familiar with the song It's Impossible? That's a beautiful song. Now, I have the music here. I'll just play a couple notes. But what I'm going to do is play this style using I Left My Heart in San Francisco, and the arrangement is so perfect for it as well. So let's just pretend for a second, and it's possible for anybody to do this. But let's just say, for example, I put on the style called It's Possible to play the song It's Impossible. That's kind of funny, isn't it? Now, if you do the intro one, if you're not familiar with the song, then you'll know, oh, that's perfect for. And then you would play the song, and it would sound something like this. And that works perfect for that, doesn't it? But I discovered one day by accident, this was a while back, I had a student that was saying, well, what other songs would you play with that? And the first time this happened, I thought, oh, this better work. I said, oh, if you love songs like I Left My Heart in San Francisco, Moonglow, I started saying, oh, let me hear it. And I hope this works. And I started playing, and what I did is I went to the intro two and just started playing and using the setups, and it was perfect. Listen. Pretty. Boy, with the Lowrey Liberty, it's possible to do anything. In fact, this next feature, I actually used it earlier. I don't know if you caught on to it, but I did it. Sometimes I forget to tell people I do it. But a lot of you by now, most of you have heard of a feature called Fake It, right? Some of you have the feature, some of you don't. And some of you have the advanced feature, right? Fake It evolved over the years, and I'm going to have a little fun with this number here. I'm going to play a style called Chinatown is the name of the style. Now, most people would say play the song Chinatown. I'll play a little bit of that. But I love this style because it's kind of it has a little bit of a, it's got a little bit of a Charleston feel to it. So I can play like Bill Bailey and all sorts of stuff like that. So I'll do a little bit of Chinatown, and then I'll go into Bill Bailey. But the fun part is I'm going to use the Fake It, but I'm going to show you how Fake It has evolved. Some of you are familiar with Dawn Casanova. Show of hands on Zoom there. You all go to her classes. Some of you have seen them, Dawn Casanova. When she teaches Fake It, depending on the group of students, she'll refer to Fake It as noodling, okay? Because the idea is that if you have the Fake It button, you noodle once you turn it on, you noodle your notes around, and it'll add all of the, even if you're playing the wrong notes, it'll play in the correct notes. So it's kind of like me doing a solo, all right? But it'll do it for you, and you don't have to worry about hitting the right notes. That's pretty clever. Now, the trick with it is some styles are a little harder to do with Fake It. So if you do a waltz, it's harder to noodle with the waltz because it's much slower and the timing is kind of awkward. So upbeat tunes, about 120, 130, a little faster, they tend to be a little easier to noodle for some. And if they're too fast, a little harder to do. So when the Liberty was introduced, they said, let's take all of the work out of having a noodle, and let's just put it into what's called an auto fake it. An auto fake it basically means when I activate it, I just hit a black note on the top or bottom keyboard, and it'll automatically do the fake it notes. Now, since you're here, I'll stand up when I do that because they got a good view on that camera there. So let me put on Chinatown, my style Chinatown. This is a fun style. Not many people feature this style. And I was like, why don't they do that? And then I realized we don't have an organ that features it, so I might as well play it while I can, right? So Chinatown, when you hear the style, it's really fun. It's got that Charleston feel to it. All right, let me just play the song a little bit. Okay, don't try that at home. After a while, your neck starts to go, no, don't do that. All right, now, I'm going to switch a preset here. Let's do something different here. Oh, here we go. How about bring out a jazz guitar here, and we'll do a little bit of this. Oh, there's that swinging jazz. Now, normally, I go to another song, or I do a solo. I might do something like this. But, you know, for students, that's not that easy to do. Let's put on our fake it, and here we go. Thank you. Hold the applause. Hold the applause. One more time. Ooh. Isn't that cool? Now, I was looking at some of the staff's faces going, what did he do? How did he do that? That was the ending 2 on that, by the way.
I like that. The altar style is pretty awesome.
And the altar style does that. See, that's the fool your neighbors button. See, if I had all of my camera off, then I could have fooled you, but it's all built into the Lowrey Liberty. All right. Well, what do you think, folks, so far? You having a good time? Let's give our Lowrey Liberty a big round of applause. Now, I have to tell you, I should probably show you this because there was a couple of times that you saw me reach over here to the left, and I pushed a button, and then sometimes I turn it off. Now, that's because, now, Sean, do you have this slide handy with the MCS Plus?
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Before you put it up, I can't remember how the slide looks. Does it show the original way first, or does it show them both on one slide?
Only the new version of it. So
okay.
Yeah.
So MCS is an amazing feature, and I say that I shouldn't say that lightly. I mean, it's without MCS, we probably wouldn't have students if you think about it, because most people that get involved at Fletcher Music Centers, in almost going on 30 years for me. It's my 29th year this March, and even before that, this feature came out back. I want to say, Joe, you've been around as well back in the 80s. MCS came out, and what was so impressive about MCS was that for the first time in history, students can not only play a one-finger chord, because one-finger chord came out back probably in the 70s. The problem was it was musically incorrect, and it only allowed you to do basic chords, C, F, G, and if you did an F minor, it told you to hit a black note. Well, that's not right. That was just an easy way of doing it. When MCS was introduced, it was revolutionary because it said if you're a one-finger player and you play the C note, it's going to play the proper 3 notes. If you're a two-finger player and you're playing 2 of the notes, or if you're playing 3-finger, it was always musically correct. So a lot of times when I play, I'll go from 3-finger to 1-finger to 2-finger because of the MCS. Like when I do a B flat or an E flat, I don't want to think about it, or an A flat. I just want to hit the one note. C7, you know. When the Liberty was introduced, there was a major breakthroughs because 3 or 4-finger chords aren't the way a lot of people play, or professionals, should I say, or people that read real music. Sometimes they do 5 and 6-finger chords. Marco Mendez, anybody know Marco Mendez? Show of hands. Everybody's seen or heard him at one time. When he plays, I swear another hand comes out of his jacket. And I can't see it, but it sounds like he's using, he does 5 and 6-finger chords, and then sometimes he'll play here, he'll use his extra thumb here, and he'll produce these chords manually that, unless you've been playing for 40 years, it's not possible for anyone to do. So Lowrey introduced a feature called MCS Plus. Now what this basically means is with the touch of one button, oh, there it is. That's the button I've been pushing on the left side of the organ from time to time. When you press it, what happens when you press a C chord, I think he's got a, look at this. I don't know if you, can you see that from that angle? It's actually playing, in that example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 notes with one finger. And I forget what chord that is, but I heard it was a C.
6-9 is what it is.
C6-9. Now, if you ask me, without looking at that, how do you make a C6-9? I'd have to go online and Google it and look up the notes and get back to you. I don't know that. But what this does is it does it for you automatically, and it gives you these really rich chords without being overwhelming. That's the trick. And if you do a 2-finger chord or a 3, it'll do up to 7 and 8-finger chords. So the best way to hear it is if I wanted to play some beautiful sounds just like this with a 1 finger. Okay, easy play. There's your F chord. Here's MCS Plus. You can hear the difference. Now, I don't use it all the time. A lot of times I go back and forth in my song. So if I'm doing this, I might start off with, and maybe in this part of the song I do this. Oh my gosh. It even turns on the applause for you automatically. No, it doesn't. I had a real far reach to hit with the pinky. So MCS Plus. So if you see me coming over here from time to time, and I don't tell you, that's what I'm doing. I'm turning it on, and then sometimes partway through the song, I'll turn it off, and then turn it back on, and what have you. Now, we'll have a little fun here. I have an amazing style I want to feature here because some of you are familiar with, especially if you like Latin music. I love playing songs like Bésame Mucho, and then sometimes I'll do some upbeat sambas and stuff like that. How many of you, show of your hands, are familiar with the name Gloria Estefan? You familiar with her? I think she was popular back in, or she became popular in the 80s. And she basically, what she did is she took what was already a great Latin style of music and then rebranded it for the 80s. So every now and then we'll hear an artist do that. They'll take something that's already a great classic sound and feel, and they'll do something to it that just kind of makes it modern, but it still has that classic feel. So, and I think what happens is a lot of generations tend to appreciate that versus just one type of generation. So on here there are, and I play them all if I had the time, there are 3 styles that are inspired by Gloria Estefan, and they're all labeled Miami. I think one's Miami beat, Miami rhythm, and one is Miami conga. And they kind of give you the idea what song works great for that Miami sound machine did. So I'm going to use the one called Miami conga, and I'll play a little bit of the conga, and then I'll show you how you can play songs of that era and anything if you go back in time to some really fun styles. And this is one of those styles that's great because, you know, it's the new year, right? And what probably one of the most common New Year's resolutions is, you know, I'm going to work out and get healthy and lose weight, right? Every year, everybody does that. And then we gain it all back in November and December and the holidays, and then we start the new year. It's like this vicious cycle. All you really need is this rhythm style because you can't help to want to move. And you do enough movement, you're going to actually get some calories burned. In fact, I've been keeping an eye on my calories on my watch. We'll see how much I burn in this song here. So, this put on Miami conga. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Oh yeah. Isn't that fun? Oh. Well, I'm having a good time. I hope you are. I was looking at my list. I wrote so many styles that I want to feature today. I'm not going to be able to get through them all, but you'll hear a lot of them. Now, go back in time again before your time and think about, I'm trying to think of the name. Somebody will tell me. The song Stand By Me.
Benny King.
Ben E. King. He left us with a great song. And this style, by the way, is kind of hidden, I think. Let's see if I could find it. I know it's in here somewhere. And I have a
He's
feeling.
actually from the Drifters.
The
Where he got his
Drifters.
start.
Is that right? You're going to leave here with a wealth of knowledge today, folks. So much knowledge that you might be the next winner on Jeopardy because of it. Right? You just have to have a Lowrey Liberty first for that to happen. There's something magical about it. So this style is kind of interesting because a lot of people that have the Liberty sometimes realize that they don't have this style. Because most of the styles, like I'm looking at my screen right now, it says Stay Alive, my Superstation, The Shag, A Go-Go. You know, you see the styles and you kind of immediately think, oh, I know what song it goes with that. And then you all have a category called Basic. And you look at Basic and some people avoid the Basic button. And then every now and then I'll tell somebody with a Liberty that may have had it for 3-4 years and go, I never knew I had that. And under the what we call the More category, which is where the piano and the guitarist category was, they changed it to More. They gave us 3 new pages of styles, and they labeled them +1, +2, +3. So for you Liberty owners out there, if you're making notes, if you go to the +3 category page and go to the Basic, on the screen it'll say Stand By You. And this style, and actually, this is a great style for Stand By Me, Under the Boardwalk, songs like that. When you hear this, it's just going to bring back a memory of this song, and hopefully you're going to feel as warm inside as I do. So, Stand By You. Listen. Yeah. Oh boy, Jerome walked in. Yeah. I woke him up. So you can tell what era of music people really like when they really chime up. Hey, Jerome. Anyway, now, show of hands. Anyone here like country music? Sure, they like anyone here like country music? All right. Well, I like country music, and I opened up actually with a country song, but this was pretty interesting. When the Liberty was introduced, and I saw this style on there, I thought for a minute, well, isn't there a rhythm style already for that song? And I looked, and there was never a rhythm style for the song that I'm getting ready to play. There are country rhythms that work for this song, and they work nicely, but there was never one that was designed as a signature style for the song that you can play other songs with it. The style is called Cheatin' Country. Now, anyone want to guess what song I might play? Your Cheatin' Heart. You won, Gary, since you got the answer right. you get yourself a free Liberty. You didn't catch that, did you? I was going to give you a free Liberty because you got the answer right. The applicable delivery charges do not apply. Delivery fees start at about $30,000 or more, so you have to work that out with Jerome. Other than that, you get a free Liberty. Okay, don't record that. Cut that part out of the show. I was just kidding. All right. So this style is great because for those who like just some of that good old classic, Hank Williams style country music, what have you, your cheating heart. So I'm just going to go to my new category here. Let's see. It's called Cheatin' Country. And that's all you have to do. Oh, and then you got to do a yeehaw. Yeehaw! Wow, isn't that fun? You know what I love about what I was doing today? I was realizing, I think one of the reasons why I enjoy playing the Liberty so much is there's so much varieties of styles of music in different genres. I did some bluegrass, I did some country, I did some ballads, I did some 50s. It was just a night, there was some big band in there. It was like a variety of styles. So, and I think that's one of the reasons, many, that it was such a successful model besides all the other reasons. Because if depending on what kind of music people like, they had it on there, and it had some really cool features to go along with it. I got another song I'm going to do, but I think Sean sent me a little chat earlier. He said he wanted to make sure that people were paying attention today. There was a couple sleepers in there, and so just for those, he's going to put up a little recap on all the things I mentioned today. Wow, did I talk about that much stuff? No, I didn't, but some of the stuff I did. So why is the Liberty so great, you ask? Well, first of all, it was the only cabinet design that you see with the beautiful, the cabinet that was designed with it and the way the grand monitor speakers, which we'll get to in the next points down, have the new lower and integrated adjusted music rack, music desk, the adjustable bench, of course, with the lumbar support, virtual grand monitor speakers. I love the word virtual because we do a lot of virtual stuff now, right? It's almost like they knew someday this was going to be fitting. Wow, I forgot about this. 319 musical styles. Major, minor, and alto. This gives you a total of 957. Gasp.
Holy crow.
Holy crow, Sean says. MCS Plus, which is that 6 and 8 finger chords with one finger. Fake It Plus, which is the new auto fake it feature when you press and hold it. My picks, I didn't even mention it, but there are some new My Picks that are designed to give you all of those quick pick sounds that you like. new category presets. I didn't show them all, but I showed just one group. There are a total of 80 new category presets, and then some of those were designed by Jim Vogelman himself. And he designed those so that if you sat and played the way you played, you would sound like him. So if you were a two-finger player, you'd sound like him. If you're a three-finger player, you still sound like him. If you were a chord and pedal player like him, you'd still sound like him, and you sound just as good. Whew! Are you having a good time? Oh, I've got some more music up my sleeve. Well, before I do, I just want to let you know, whenever I have an opportunity, like I said earlier, to do a show like this, I really, whenever I have an instrument like this, I take the opportunity to do a show because it's rare that we get one. In fact, I can't remember the last Liberty we had it in here for a week, and then it left and got sold. I mean, it's just the way of the world now. And the only way we're able to acquire a Liberty is by someone trading it in. But how do you get a trade-in on a Liberty? Think about that. You have to have something bigger or better. Well, the bigger or better technically is a marquee or an aria. Well, there are no marquees or arias. So unfortunately, we have to wait for someone to call us and say, Mom and Dad owned a such and such model. Would you like to buy it? And then we go around and around, and 20% of the times we're able to buy those at a price point that makes sense. The other percent of the times they say, no way, it's worth more than that, and we don't get them. So they're hard to get it. They're hard to get. We've been lucky. We have one in Arizona, obviously. And in Florida, we have one that I just picked up from one of those circumstances at a very, 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 very reasonable. I made an offer that I thought, I'd be crazy not to take it if they took the offer. And I made the offer, and guess what? They took it. I was surprised. And so that's being acquired here in the next couple of days. So what I'm going to encourage you to do sometime today, tomorrow, whatever, if you see it, if you liked what you saw and heard today or like to know more, I would encourage you to reach out to your personal assistant and just say, give me the details, because who knows when we'll have another one in, right? And so we enjoy them while we can. And right now, as many of you know, we are celebrating, first of all, I should have said this right up front. My apologies. We are celebrating MAD, Member Appreciation Days, for the last week or so, and for the next several days. We've had some in-store events. We're doing a special event on the 8th in all of our stores. Oh, look at that. And it's basically our way of saying thank you to our loyal customers, because without you folks, we wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. And I try not to forget that in these crazy times and these crazy, consistent, crazy and challenging times. Just when you think you're over the hump, a new hump comes, right? There's always something happening, and it's all related to the same thing. We don't want to go into that. But the good news is we're here. And why are we here? Because of our customers. Without you, and it's our way of saying thank you. So on the 8th, all of our stores have an in-store event, and they're going to do the drawing. So if you don't know when your store's time is, and everyone will have an opportunity to win this music book library that you see up there. There's 288 songs, books we normally don't carry. So make sure to get with your PAs on that. And if you want to take a shortcut, like, I don't know if I want to wait to see if I'll win, because it's one winner per store, by the way. If you happen to purchase an instrument during this time, we'll give it to you automatically at no charge. Okay? So today's great, because if you're interested in the Lowrey Liberty, we'll throw in that music library. Okay? Last but not least, I do want to say again, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I've been online quite a bit in the last 2 years. Many of you I've seen. The advantage of doing this is I've got to meet some wonderful people across the world, and literally. I've had some people who I've met in Europe, in England, that will join us at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, sometimes midnight their times because of the event, all across the nation, and you guys are so wonderful. for keep supporting us, and I ask to continually support us. That's how we keep doing it. And you can always do that by referring a friend. You can also do it sometimes by saying, you know what, I might just get myself another instrument. I had to throw that in there. So, with that said, I'm going to play another song here. This is going to be a fun number here. This was a new gospel style that was put onto this instrument, and it's just really a fun style because it's upbeat in nature. It's not your very fast hand clapping kind of gospel, and it's not the slow soulful one. All those are fun. This is like a just right in between, and they called it 50s gospel, but it's just a fun style, and you'll see why. It's just kind of upbeat and happy and joyful and all that. And I'll play just a good classic, Just a Closer Walk with Thee with it. I've played this song as a Pete Fountain style. I've played it as just a nice, beautiful gospel ballad. I've played it as an upbeat hand clapping, and now I get to play it this way. So sit back and enjoy. I'm going to pull up my new gospel style here, and away. Where is it? I have to find it first. And there it is. It's in our new plus category of the Liberty. And here we go. Thank you, thank you. Wasn't that great? I can tell I have fun doing it. Well, I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and I know some of you don't have an opportunity to be up close and personal with your PAs, but some of your PAs knew I was going to do this and have some students here, so they may want to visit with you for a couple minutes afterwards. Do me a favor, if you happen to see a thing that says visit with Gail, she may give you $100. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to put Gail on the spot there. But let her know how I did. Give me some feedback on how the show went, how the sound was, how the presentation was, or not just Gail, but anyone. So if you have an option that pops up on your screen, some of you Zoomers out there to visit with your favorite PA, please do so. Say hello to them and chit-chat. And maybe ask them about the Lowrey Liberty, too, while you're at it, huh? I have to throw that in there. Thank you so much. I'm going to hang out just for a couple more minutes here and say hi to my students here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.